Getting better at Marvel Rivals is very simple. I'm gonna give you 7 essential tips that will make you instantly better. The first one is using the practice range. After all, the first thing you need to do is get yourself comfortable with a certain character, get your aim right, learn the abilities of it, and only then go to battle. If you want a really good exercise to get your aim in, go to this place right here, which you can do so after coming outside from the practice range right there, going down the stairs right here, and then going to this door. Then go to parameters and then press G, select a smaller character to really get your aim in, like Luna Snow. Then generate the type to random, set the random generation range to mid-range or long range depending on how you want it, and put it to random, and then put the movement speed to normal, and eventually you can pick it up. You can even delete the timer so you can do this indefinitely. Then press apply, and after that press escape and go to the control switch. Press G to start the training. And now you have an aim trainer in the game that you can use consistently and you can learn it. This is a great way to do it. Also, another huge tip you need to do for the practice range to really take effect, well, of course, learn your character's abilities. But you might think, if I use it right now like this, I'm gonna get a cooldown, but you can change that by pressing escape, going to the practice settings, and the no ability cooldown, just turn it on, and now I can use it indefinitely, as you can see. This way you can really learn the hero you want and then go into the game with confidence. The next one is using your team up abilities. Very important. If you are at the character selection screen, depending on what people choose, these kind of icons will pop up right here, and if you hover over them you can see additional heroes that if other people select or you select, they are gonna give a bonus. For this one, if we choose Hela, Loki and Thor, we get a 20% damage boost. Pretty good, so definitely don't forget about them. If you wanna see a more in-depth way of the team up abilities, you can press F2 and you can see all of them right here. You can also see the effects right there. This one does healing, this one does 150 max health, this one another damage boost, and even more damage boost and healing boosts. If you don't pay attention and make more team ups in the game, you are leaving potential on the table. The next one is interacting with your environment. Now what I mean by that is there are certain aspects in the game that are destructible, which means you can destroy them and basically change the whole environment where the battle is going on. You can make someone fall off the high ground and instantly lose their advantage, or you can destroy walls where basically you can see through and start hitting the enemy, and yes, you can catch them by surprise. Now to see these destructible objects you need the chrono vision, and if you don't know the key for it, you can see it by pressing escape, going to settings, going to keyboard, then UI, and the chrono vision is right here. For me it's the letter B, but you can change it anytime you want, and once you hold it down, this is what you will see. As you can see, everything is gray, but if you see something that is destroyable, it's gonna highlight it with yellow just like this, and I can destroy it freely. So make sure you pay attention to it. It could change the battle for you in an instant. Next one is watching your positioning. This is very important because depending on your role, you will have different positions that you need to take place. For vanguards, of course, you need to be at the front and attack. For strategists, you need to be on the back line to really see the battle from a bird's eye view and help your teammates as much as possible. And of course, need to deal as much damage as possible, otherwise the team is gonna get hurt. Now that's just the basics, but sometimes a vanguard can go more into the backline, like Venom, which we call a dive tank. They basically can go into the backline or anyone else who is more isolated and of course finish them off. So yes, be flexible with it, but also make sure that you're with your team, unless of course you wanna dive in, but even then make sure you're not alone and teammates are nearby. Now the next tip is pretty close one to the other one, protecting your strategists, because they are basically your healers, someone who you really need. And there are a bunch of dive characters in the duelists as well, like Psylocke, who can turn invisible, go in the back line, and you don't even notice, but your strategists are done for. So always make sure to protect them. If you're a vanguard, even more so, because if they go down, you go down, and after that the whole team goes down. The sixth tip is timing your ultimates the way it's meant to be. Now, depending on your role, again, you need to time your ultimates. If you're a duelist, you need to do so when there is a bunch of low health enemies, more so the smaller health pool ones. But also make sure that if you see maybe a strategist alone or at low health, solo ulting a player is still very much a strategy on its own. Don't be afraid to do it. For strategists, you need to use your ultimate really at the right time, maybe when your team is at a very low health, or maybe at a place where you know the enemy will do an ultimate that could devastate your whole team, and you can preemptively turn on your ultimate to possibly win a big team fight. And as a vanguard, your ultimate is mainly for making space and making possibilities for going forward with your team. And the last 7th tip is, of course, keeping an open mind and always learning another heroes. Maybe just in your own category, that's fine as well. But if you really want to know your enemy, you have to become them, at least for a while. If you know at the very least a little bit of every character in the game, you're gonna be miles ahead of everyone else, because you already have an inkling what the enemy will do before even they do it, and that's when you strike. I would recommend learning at least one hero in every role or more, but if you really want to master the game, you have to learn at the very least a little bit everyone. Every single character. Happy getting better at Marvel Rivals and have fun!